Hello, and today we're going to speak about a question from May 2014, paper 2, number 4. This is a moles question with regards to a double salt, and we need to find four unknowns, C, W, X, Y, Z, and the compound is CuW, NH4, X, SO4, Z, sorry, XO4, Y dot ZH2O. Now, the first part of the question is this. The sample of 2 grams of salt A was boiled with excess sodium hydroxide, and the ammonia expelled collected by absorption in 40 centimeters cubed of 0.5 molar hydrochloric acid in a cooled flask. Subsequently, the solution required 20 centimeters cubed of 0.5 molar 0.5 molar sodium hydroxide for neutralization. So you have two reactions here. You have salt A plus NaOH to give NH3, and then you've got a second reaction, NH3 plus HCl to give NH4Cl, and then you have HCl plus NaOH to give NaCl plus H2O. This one here, the HCl is in excess, and therefore what's left has been reacted with NaOH, and what's left has been reacted with 20 centimeters cubed of 0.5 molar NaOH. So 20 centimeters cubed, 0.5 molar NaOH, which means that for NaOH we have 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles, which would be the same as that for HCl, which is 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. Now, what this means is that the amount of HCl remaining after it reacted with ammonia was 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. So in the beginning, initially the excess HCl was 40 centimeters cubed of 0.5 molar. So this is 40 centimeters cubed of 0.5 molar, which is equal to 2 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. And therefore, that was in excess. Okay? Excess minus remaining equals what? Reacted. And this is equal to 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. So 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles of HCl reacted, which you can say that was equivalent to 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles NH3. So from the first question, we can say that 2 grams of A release 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles NH3. And this is very important. That is from the first question. For the first question, we can say 2 grams of A have released 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles of B, of ammonia. So for part 2, you have a second sample of 2 grams of salt. A was dissolved in water and treated with an excess of barium chloride solution. The mass of precipitate formed after drying was found to be 2.33 grams. So this is SO4 2 minus plus Ba 2 plus to give barium sulfate, which is a solid. And this is a precipitation reaction. So if 2.33 grams of barium sulfate were produced, how many moles of barium sulfate do we have? So 1 mole Ba and so forth is equal to the mass of barium, which is 137.23, plus 32 plus 16 times 4, and that would be 233 0.33 grams. Therefore, 1 mole equals 233.33 grams. How many moles equals 2.33 grams? And that would be 1 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. Apologies to the minus 2. And even the other numbers, they were all to the minus 2. Okay? And therefore, 2 grams of A releases 1 times 10 to the minus 2 moles SO4 to minus. So I have to apologize again. The numbers I was using before, they are not 1 times 10 to the minus 3, they were 1 times 10 to the minus 2. For the third part, you have a third sample of 10 grams, so now we have to realize that 10 grams instead of 2 grams of salt A was dissolved to give 25 centimeters cubed of solution. On heating 25 centimeters cubed of the solution with an excess Ki, iodine was formed, equivalent to 25 centimeters cubed of 0.1 molar sodium thiosulfate solution. And you were given, they were nice enough to give you the reactions. So, 2 Cu2 plus 4i minus to give 2 Cui plus I2, and the second reaction is I2 plus S2O3 to minus to give 2i minus plus S4O6 to minus. And you were given that the iodine produced here required 25 centimeters cubed of 0.1 molar solution. So 25 centimeters cubed of 0.1 molar, which would be equivalent to 0.1 times 25 over 1000, which is equal to 2.5 times 10 to the minus 2. So let me just confirm that number. Okay, so it is 0.1 times 25 division by 1000, and it is 2.5 times 10 to the minus 3. But this is equivalent, okay, to 1.25 times 10 to the minus 3 moles of iodine, simply because the ratio is 1:2. So the 2.5 times 10 to the minus 3 moles of thiosulfate needed would have reacted with 1.25 times 10 to the minus 3 moles of iodine, which means that here you have generated 1.25 times 10 to the minus 3 moles as well. And when you relate it to the copper, it's 2:1, therefore copper you had 2.5 times 10 to the minus 3 moles. But here is where we need to pay attention, because in this instance, you had 25 centimeters cubed taken from 250 centimeters cubed. So if the 2.5 were found in 25 centimeters cubed, in the original amount, you must have had 2.5 times 10 to the minus 2 moles. And again, we can say that 10 grams of A releases 2.5 times 10 to the minus 2 moles of Cu2 plus. From here on, now we can find all the numbers that we are asked for. And this is because now we can compare everything into grams. So we know that if 10 grams contains 2.5 to the minus 2, 2 grams of A must release 0.5 times 10 to the minus 2 moles. So Cu2 plus in ratio to NH4 plus in ratio to SO4 to minuses, 0.5 times 10 to the minus 2 is 1 times 10 to the minus 2 is 1 times 10 to the minus 2, or it is 1 is to 2 is to 2. So we have found the ratio, but we still have not found the exact numbers. So pretty much these numbers now can be 1, 2, 2, 2, 4, 4, 3, 6, 6, and so on. So the ratio has to be 1 is to 2 is to 2. So how can we actually find the numbers? The way to find the numbers at this point is simply by changing the numbers, okay? And I would recommend starting with 1, 2, and 2, and trying to get the number of moles in 2 grams, okay? So realize that 2 grams contained 0.5 times 10 to the minus 2 moles CO2 plus. So probably that will be 0.5 times 10 to the minus 2 moles of compound, if copper is 1. So 1 mole of Cu NH4 twice, SO4 twice dot ZH2O will be equal to 63.5 plus 14 plus 4, 18 times 2, 36 plus 16 plus 64, 80 times 2, sorry, 32, 32 plus 64, 96 times 2, which is equal to 192.ZH2O. For now, the H2O we can forget, okay? For now, the H2O we can leave to the side. So this would be 98.5, okay? And that would add to 290.5 grams, which would mean that 0.5 moles of A should be equal to 290.5 times 0.5 times 10 minus 2. Okay, and that number would be equal to, let's give me a second to work it out, 1.45 grams. Okay, and this is less than 2. If we were to actually do 244 as our initial number, the number of mass would be wrong. So we have found up till now that W is 1, X is 2, Y is 2. To find Z, we simply have to use the molar mass that we found of the 290.5 grams. So this is without water. We know that, so this is without water. With water, it's going to be 1 mole equals how much? If 0.005 equals 2 grams, that would be equal to, I believe it's 400, but let's just work it to be on the safe side. So it's 400 grams, so 1 mole equals 400 grams. Mass of water is equal to 400 minus 290.5 grams, which is equal to 109.5 grams. Okay? 1 mole of H2O is equal to 18 grams. How many moles equals 109.5? And if we divide 109.5 division by 18, we get 6. So Z equals 6. So it's CuNH4 twice SO4 twice dot 6 H2O. Hope you understand it. If you didn't, please don't hesitate to ask and I will help you further.